You short silver? Duh. To protect your stash? I didn't. I didn't do anything. I'm just, whatever. I'm just sitting on it like it's a long-range investment, right? I got to say something about like a lot of the brokers and stuff like that to give advice, because first off, if you really know what the hell you're doing, you're not a broker. Your name is George Soros. You invest your own money, and you don't tell everybody your own moves. It's part of the deal. But I can tell you one broker I have or ex-broker or former broker, let's put it that way, that I have a lot of respect for, is Ann Barnhart. You know what? She's no longer a broker. She closed her Barnhart Capital. Why? Because she feels she can't trust her client. She can't protect her client's money anymore because of the situation that's going on in the overall economy. There's cracks in the system. I know, like you hear today, every day the sky's falling, right? It hasn't fell yet, but there's some serious cracks in the economy. You kind of see where it's going in a long range. I think she's a bit extreme. Yes, I would. My personal opinion is that, but I respect her opinion because she's very true to what she says. In other words, it's not scaring the crap out of people for profit or writing books like Schiff does. Peter Schiff, he writes books, makes millions of dollars, tells you the sky's going to fall, and one of these days it's going to be right. The sky is going to fall someday, right? Basically the basic premise is pretty easy to sum up. We're going into extreme debt in the United States. They're not going to be able to keep it up. One of these days, it's going to come to critical mass. It's almost like an engine breaking down. There's a noise. The mechanic's warning you. You keep driving it, and you don't give a shit, and you don't give a damn like what the consequences are. And someday, you got a major problem. You need a major overhaul, and there's going to have to be a major overhaul of the global financial system, right? So, ergo, that's the reason you keep silver, because silver's been one of the mainstays of, been around for so long. It's got, it's more widely used for diversified uses in industry, right behind oil. Oil is the most widely diversely used commodity in the world. Silver is the second most diversely used commodity in the world. So, if one area of silver doesn't seem to be playing out, like digital cameras came out and it slammed down photography, well, there's other uses it comes out. It's like, it's not just one use. So silver took a big boost today unexpectedly. It's like there's always an excuse why it goes up. There's an excuse why it goes down. Obviously, what I see what's going on is the markets are rigged. And I always put down in the information box about the rigging of the oil and commodities markets. I put this video out a while ago. Well, not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago. But it's applicable to the last 10 years. There is a lot of market rigging going on. Now, the implication of the Volcker rule, which is starting to be enforced as of April 1st, 2014, and has to be fully in effect by, I think, July 2015, it's going to cause the banks to be out of the manipulating the markets and the commodities and all that type of stuff. And, we'll probably see prices the way there should be. Now, something else is so interesting. I'm not going to actually state who the, measurement of inflation's coming from, but it was actually in the Wall Street Journal. I'll just kind of reference the article here a little bit. But basically, there was a independent study of inflation that they used to come up. They used to try to calculate the numbers before the Fed came out with the numbers. The government came out with the inflationary numbers, and their numbers that they calculated. Now, I know you could say this is BS because they're probably using the same type of methods the government uses, which aren't perfect. Their numbers they came out with before the government came out with their actual official CPI, Consumer Price Index, was very close. But over the last, I guess, 4 months, they've been diverging. This independent group that's been very accurate in forecasting what the government numbers are going to be, it's actually higher. It's actually higher. Now, I do know that if you look at the Commodity Research Bureau's index of agricultural products and livestock products, both those things went through the roof. Now, I think, well, a lot of that is because of, what happened in California. The 100% of the state is in a drought state, so that's one reason too. It's 100% of the state is in a drought. So that hasn't happened in many years. it's the food prices and livestock prices aren't just going through the roof because of the dollar losing value, but it's actually because of weather conditions, and also we've also had extra severe winters and things like that. So I don't know, maybe that affects the crops in different ways too. Plus, the problem with the bees, right? I've been hearing a lot of that deal lately for the last so many years. Which I could ad lib a little bit on a conspiracy theory for that, because I've been using right now. Actually, I have it on the computer here. I'm using a device, Spooky Rife Remote. If you don't know what the hell that is, it's actually quantum entanglement Rife Remote. It's kills microbes in minimizes or diminishes or slows them down or kills them or whatever microbes in your body by using a remote sweep. And I actually kind of wonder about, frequencies have the potential to heal and they have the potential to kill microbes, but maybe they have the potential to actually harm the bees too, right? I just want to ad lib on sidetrack on this deal, because we're probably going to see where something, some people wonder about where to put their money. It's going to be food storage, because it's not just going to be about the destruction of the dollar or the diminishment of the dollar. Let's say that. I don't want to say the destruction of the dollar, the diminishment of the dollar's status in the world. It's not going to be just about that. It's also going to be about, the actual food production, which is not just from problems from weather, but also from the problems from the bees. We've been talking about this for a long time, and there's some things actually put out. One of the things that helps the bees is hemp oil. Believe it or not, it kind of reversed a lot of the problems they had. I know it's probably from genetically modified food from Monsanto and Synergista, whatever it is, from Switzerland. But it's also a number of things. It could actually be frequencies, and maybe it's a diabolical plot. I don't know. There's a lot of games going on. Who the hell knows? It's all conjecture. And I don't want to put out conjecture for giddy minds, but if you think about, like a lot of people are buying silver to protect themselves for the future. Right now, it's just a flat investment. So it's going like this, up and down, and not doing much. It doesn't surprise me that it bounced up today, because that's silver, right? Everybody thinks it's going to go down. Everybody thinks it's going to go below 18. It freaking bounces. And then, when it gets up to whatever, it just does the unexpected. But one thing, if you ever want to think about something that's besides silver, because I know people don't want to put all their money into silver. Actually, food storage is not a bad idea, and just rotate it, because, you want to use some food storage that you actually consume, and healthy stuff, and Chinese herbs. I put a lot of videos out on Chinese herbs, like some of the top Chinese herbs are like ginseng, astragalus root, cinnamon, honey, that's not a Chinese herb, but honey, coconut oil, not a Chinese herb, but a very good thing. You might want to invest some money in that. Actually, honey, if you invest your money in honey, honey lasts thousands of years. It never goes bad. Just want to put it out on this video, because maybe some people aren't aware of that. But, sometimes, people are saying, I want to get a few coins here and there. Well, I think the price of food's going to go way up. Honey's been known as an antibacterial. It's a healthy food, very healthy food. Bees are going down, there's like a lot of problems with the bees. I'd imagine the cost of honey is going to go up, right? And, you can store honey as long as you can store silver, basically. Because it's one of the foods out there that never goes bad. Another food out there that pretty much, maybe it's not as antimicrobial it won't store as long as honey, but you can keep coconut oil at room temperature in a sealed container, room temperature, for 5 years, and it's still good. So that'll last a long time too. You just want to put out some other ideas out of here, because it's not always about silver. There's a lot of other things you should invest in, and you should be sort of a little bit of like a prepper, but be a practical prepper. Don't be like don't overdo it with too much, because sometimes it gets a little crazy with the the prepping. But it's good to have some things for emergencies. You never know. Emergencies come by from unexpected sources, from various things. It could be economical, it could be weather related, it could be an earthquake. California has crazy earthquakes once in a while. The Midwest has tornadoes. Florida has hurricanes. The Northeast has unexpected ice storms and snowstorms. Hey, it's good to have some preparation. But it can also be a financial protection type thing, too. And also, during the times of emergency, which is the reason you get silver for, you want to actually make sure, you have other things, because you can't just eat silver and gold. It doesn't help you every single way there is. It's one aspect of everything. But I just want to point out, the only broker I respect, I think, was Ann Barnhart, because she's no longer a broker. She got out of the field because I've been saying this, like, if you got like $20 million under your management as a broker, you're going to make 6 figures. You're going to make $100,000. So they're always looking for business. They're always trying to tell you the inside scoop. They're always trying to sell you something. Sometimes some people got criticized me for making money on AdSense, and I'm like saying, AdSense is nothing compared to, like, I don't want to knock AdSense, but, and I'm not saying anything one way or the other. But I'm saying is, anybody that's a broker that's selling books and selling, trying to get clients, that's where the money is. If you don't freaking understand that, you don't understand that. Actually, to tell you the truth, on a lot of my YouTube channels, a lot of my YouTube videos, I only got one channel, but on a lot of my YouTube videos where I'm answering a lot of questions is actually on automotive and some on the health, but I try to downplay what to expect with health, because you never know. The body's so damn complex, sometimes something works super good for somebody and sometimes it don't work at all for somebody else. But I always try to put something out there that's going to be the most bang for the buck, or at least you're not going to get ripped off, And actually, I'm telling you this, with silver, you're not going to get ripped off at this price. You're not going to get ripped off. You're not going to buy this week now and sell it next week. Hold on to it. But, it shouldn't be your only investment. And don't go playing around in the markets with the suits and the ties, because they're just out for looking for your business. That's all they're doing. So anyway, and also, I'm going to tell you another thing. You ought to go back. A lot of people in the United States ought to go back to the Great Depression era of mentality, whereas you keep and make do with what you have. In other words, we got a very much consumeristic, throwaway society. And, you look at some of the, actually, I can tell you stuff, the furniture from back in the 20s is far superior to anything put out today. They don't make nothing out of wood today. It's all like, some things are wood, but even that, it's not even anywhere near remotely good as what was put out in the 20s and 30s. All that stuff has been trashed, and so because somebody marketed something like with a plastic finish, and you throw that away. Actually, I saw a YouTube video. Actually, I'm going to put a link to it on the bottom of this. It's not my video, but it's a woman that bought a 1957 Chevrolet, and she bought it brand new as a leftover, and she still got it today. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And she's, as a woman, I was thinking that was even more like unusual, because usually it's a guy that does something like that. But anyway, it goes to show you that, our throwaway society, sometimes when the pressure is on, and, she got her, impetus to be like that from the Great Depression. But sometimes when the pressure is on, a lot of people don't realize that they're wasting a lot of money in 50 million different ways. And they don't realize how they can actually do better. They can do a lot better. Also want to put out as a side note on this thing, I'm running this, you have to look at some of the other videos I did, maybe, or John White's videos. It's a separate subject than the silver, but, silver even has some beneficial things for health, too, I think, with the colloidal silver, and it has an antibacterial. But I'm running this spooky sweep remote thing right now, and to tell you the truth, I think this is one of the most worthwhile things going for, what do you call it, long-term health and stuff like that. Now, I'm probably going to have to run a detox after this, but what I plan to do is I'm going to probably get an extra generator, extra remotes, and an extra laptop, and put it in a metal box, because, I don't know, someday we might have an EMP. That'd be another thing you might want to be thinking about besides silver for an investment. Some of these electronic devices that maybe they're not miracles where they're going to help your health and fix everything perfect, but they seem to actually help. And, as long as they still work, if they could get damaged by an EMP, that might be something you might want to put some money into besides silver too. You know, in other words, if you don't want to just have tunnel vision on one investment, I always said this. But be that as it may, you know, there's also a lot of predictions out there by, well, let me put it this way. There's a lot of various predictions out there. I've read predictions where the markets are going to go up to probably right around 2016 when the election's going to occur. I've read predictions that the second half of this year is going to be when the markets come down. I do know that this is the third longest bull run in the history of equities in the United States, and you know, in the last 100 years, and that if this bull run keeps going to July, it'll be the second longest bull run. What I think, though, is like they got more tools now to keep things afloat, but if they keep playing that game with more tools to keep things afloat, when a crash comes, it's going to be even worse. You know? I mean, a little common sense there, right? In other words, if they got ways to, you know, inject something in the economy, keep it going, when a crash comes, you know, it's not going to freaking keep going forever, you know, on a bull run forever. When a crash comes, it's going to freaking go down hard. You know, because right now, you know, all the conspiratorial indicators are, and I'm not talking to anybody in the alternative media, I'm talking major media and everything, they're all saying that stocks and equities are pricey, and the outlook for returns on corporate bonds, government bonds, and equities is very low. It's been the lowest it's been in way more than 50 years. That's per many sources on the actual major media. So you're not even talking, you know, the alternative media, which is always kind of telling you the sky is falling. So, you know, when it does, if the longer they push this up, because, you know, I've been wondering how long this is going to go, because George Soros already made his bet, a huge bearish bet on the S&P back in mid-August of 2013. I know I told this on many of my videos. He's also put more on that bet in early 2014 that the S&P was going to crash hard. I got a lot of, you know, financially, this guy's been right too many times. You know, he's not stupid. So I tend to think it's not going to be 2 years from now. I tend to think, you know, it's coming up to critical mass right now. You know, and if you look back, you know, at what happened before, it's almost like it peaks, it goes down, goes up again, goes down, and then all of a sudden, inside of, you know, not even a week, you see this, you know, it's like it fakes you out a whole bunch of times. And conversely, that's the same damn thing with silver. Inside of no time, it can go way the hell up. And I know what the deal is. I said this many times. The geopolitical tensions are what's going to cause it to go up. Unfortunately. It'd be nice if we had total peace and silver went up and everything stayed nice and smooth. I'd be fine with that. But I don't think it's going to work out like that, you know. So, but anyway, just hang on to your investment and diversify. You know, you can buy honey. You know, bees are going to be in short supply. You know, you might want to invest in some of that. Don't go playing around in the markets like, I'm going to short silver because it's going to go down. Because right now, it looks like if you did that, you just got your ass handed to you today. You know, provided something doesn't change radically Monday. I don't know. But, you know, the whole idea behind buying and holding physical metals is you're not playing a game with the suits. And that's one reason I respect Ann Barnhart. She's not playing that game. She knows these suits aren't going to be able to deliver. You know, they talk cute, but they're not going to be able to deliver. You want to stay tried and true to what's been proven. And if you bought a 1957 Chevy back in 1957, you still have it, more power to you. I'm going to put a link to that video. I was pretty surprised about that. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. I'll put it down in an information box. Not my video, but, you know, you take a look at it. I thought it was pretty funny. Pretty wild. Anyway, over and out.